Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the second part here of the Keep on the Borderlands, a Torchbearer role-playing game. Once again, I'm Eric, your sweet, sweet game master, and we're still chilling in the camp phase. As you probably saw in the last couple of minutes, um, the caves, when you leave them, are living up to the chaotic name of them, as the interfaction wars have been breaking out between the different groups,
Yeah, they are.
and a little bit of that and the behavior of some of the denizens of these dark places have caught wind of the PCs coming out here and scouting them.
Nice.
And that's before we went to break. So now we're back, and everything's all hunky-dory back in Camp Town right now. So what are you guys doing? How do you want to spend those checks?
Eric, there was one thing I wanted to do. There was one thing I wanted to do while we're out there that I forgot to say. And
Sure.
Tell me whether this is doable or not. Is I definitely wanted to see if I could tell where the orc caves were once we were getting closer. I wanted to identify which ones, see if they had, because I know the bark biters had like mark theirs, and we know the kobolds what they look like, and I want to see if I can see where the Bloody Fist cave is.
There is. Do you have a diagram of the maps? Do I have one for you?
You made it. You have one. You had one for us. I don't know if it was in Roll20 or if it was a.
Yeah, I think I showed you a map of cave entrances.
Yeah.
So while you were there, it is. I want to make sure I give you the right one. It's either one of those top. If I ping them, I can't ping it. Okay. So from right to left, there's if we count them that way, like ignoring the elevation level of what they're on. If you go 1, 2, 3, right to left, ignoring elevation. That's actually not a good way of doing it. Bisect. Starting in the top. Bisect the map in half. Ignore everything below the equator of that. Right. Only going from the top.
I see four caves then.
Yeah, you see 4 caves. It's either the back. I don't think it's the furthest back one. I think it's the second one, but I have to double check my notes.
Okay.
All right. We'll just hang on for a second.
No problem.
While we're doing that, I'll give it to you while we're talking about in camp. I'm sorry about that. I should.
No wonder. It was just something I wanted to find out, and definitely part of Bryn's reason for coming down here was to see where the Bloody Fists were.
I definitely told you at one time. I just don't remember anymore. Look at the old map or reel.
No problem. That's fine. As long as we know, I'm good, because we'll come back next time and we'll go there, or we'll talk about there.
All right. Yeah, sounds good. It is the furthest back one.
Okay. It's number 4 of those. We're counting from the
left.
Yeah. Top. And where that bear beak, where that creature came out of,
barrel,
was also in that vicinity. Is that right? Like it was deep into the sea.
Yeah. It may be that those are not the only entrances of the caves.
Right. Yeah.
Ooh, those are just the ones that or we're able to see.
Cool.
Cartography is a difficult art.
Yeah,
I mean, that's why art is in the name. Okay.
Cool. I'm good.
All right. What do we want to do in camp?
I think we spent our checks, right?
Like all of them?
Did we only have 2?
We had 2.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. All right, then we're no longer in camp. We return to the grind.
Cadence, good.
You're still exhausted.
Familiar.
It is the next morning. Think you guys probably feel a little well rested.
Yep.
So I think we're ready to head back to town, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yaroslav and Svetlana are probably the ones that tell you, like, oh, whew, well, I mean, I guess we made it through the last night in the wilds, right? We're gonna make it home now. No problems here. Whew, finally. Good job, everybody.
Oh my God. Why would you tempt these gods?
What gods? They say.
Ugh.
Remember, we're bound to each other until we return to town. The caves may still have some have we still have threats for us to overcome before we get there. But we'll get you there safely. And I think we do that whole packing up montage or cinching things down and packing things up, and Bryn is ready to make her way on the
great. But we do not know the way, and so I need someone to lead you all back to town, back to the castle.
Yeah,
back to the keep.
I will use mine, and would this be more of a remembering thing? Since we did come from town? I know it was a while ago. Or is that still...
I mean, if you wanted to tap you want to spend persona, yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I'm like, oh, I think actually this over the other side of this hill is exactly where we came in last time before we got our first sight of the caves. We get up over this way, we can get right back on the trail we took here.
Right.
It'll be familiar territory. Okay, so I spend one persona. Bam. Bam.
So you tap your nature. Yeah. This is going to be a pretty difficult test to make it back.
Yeah. I think it's Pathfinder, right?
It's definitely a Pathfinder test. It's going to take you all day to get back, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so
do you have Pathfinder trained?
2 in Pathfinder.
Kids? You do. Cool.
Wow.
So where's my roll 20? That's the one I need to roll dice.
I think Bryn, stout and sturdy as she is, will kind of, when you say like, remember there was a fork here and there was something that she'll run ahead a little bit and report back with like, yeah, I see that thing you mentioned, and
it's an Ob 5 test, by the way.
Nice.
While you're building your roll.
Yeah. So if Scout works for helping, that sounds good to you, Eric.
Yeah, that's a good helper. Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
be on the lookout for things.
Yeah, but I'll be looking for all those landmarks that you mentioned.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and helping in a slightly different way. Okay, so this is well, I was saying this strange a little bit, but Linus seems like the kind of person who would be like always looking over his shoulder behind us. I'm wondering if I can make Scout, but instead of looking ahead, I'm like looking behind,
making sure nothing's,
just to be sure nothing's there. Which, I mean, I as a player kind of know what's going on, so like obviously I'm angling a little bit for insurance there, but I think it makes sense. Like Linus does seem like the kind of person who would just be like at the back of the party and just be kind of like drifting off and looking behind us, just kind of paying attention. And I do have Scout. I'm pretty sure. Oh no, sorry, I don't. I have Survivalist. Never mind.
I have this hilarious image in my head. I don't know if this would fit with you at all, but I have this hilarious image in my head of Linus with his book open, looking at the map and just being like looking at the map that's all covered in ink and being like, I think I can kind of like trying to like make out where he had drawn our way here, but it's all like a mess and like trying to like sort it out. I mean, yeah. Assuming if you're not going to actually be spending helping die, I love the idea of you like trying to help by like looking at the map, but it's just like it's a mess. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I think since I'm not very good at scouting, Linus is still totally looking over his shoulders, but in kind of just a distracted way. And the rest of his time, he's got his nose in a book, just going like, I think I can make something out here, guys. Yeah,
I love it.
Okay, so I have 1 helping die. What about our guards? Do they have any pathfinding and scouting abilities?
No, they're. I actually no, they do have scouting. So like they're lookouts, they're sentries. So yeah, I guess they do actually. Sorry, thinking about it, totally.
Okay, so then I have 2. That brings me to 4 dice that I'm rolling against this Ob 5.
No, you tapped your nature, so you're adding your nature in as well.
Okay, so
you're gonna roll your Pathfinder, which is 2, and then what's your nature?
Is 4.
Yeah, so you're up to 8 dice right now.
Okay, so I'm just gonna put this as 6.
Yeah, and I don't know if Basil can help. I don't know if Basil.
I have got nothing.
Okay.
I'd
and
love
it was
to help.
5.
So close. Oh,
Well, there's 3
a
6s there.
lot of 6s.
But to use the 6s, I need to.
You spend fate. I see you as having 1 fate left.
Yeah, I have 1 fate left. Sweet. Okay, so
It was
that's
made
4
when
spin.
you rolled 3 6s.
Okay, so then wait. Do I roll 3d6 exclamation point when I do this?
Mm-hmm.
One.
Hey, you got it.
Nice.
Nice.
Okay. Oh yeah, this is the one. I remember actually this specific tree. It was the one that I didn't get us all mangled inside of. It was the quite nice one that we enjoyed.
Shit. I don't think you made it. You're exhausted.
Wait, oh, I'm exhausted too.
Oh, every time.
And there's no.
Yeah, sorry. I was like,
That
I
was
was like,
both
I
of
know
my-
something's wrong. I assumed that the ob 5 was not ob 4 plus 1 for exhausted. It was ob 5 base, right?
Yeah, it's as far as I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah, I have a really bad habit of saying the base obs without including the random factors of the rest of the test that are circumstantial. So
Yeah. No, it's fine. I mean, it's fair to say it's ob 5. It's just
do you have anything you can do?
Don't I have to call on a wise to do anything?
Yeah.
I think I would. Unless there's like. Unless we find like a signpost, I don't think there's anything that's going to help me, like the human art wise and elven craft wise. Unless I check out the tiara to see if it has like magic abilities to know which direction you're facing.
It's not magical.
Is it worth a pretty penny?
It'll make
It'll take away your
virility, yeah.
your manly virilities.
Thankfully, it's not quite that bad.
No, then I don't think I can pass this.
Yep.
Okay, so it's a failed.
We're just gonna die in the wilderness.
So that's another failed scouting test. Or no, wait, that wasn't a failed scouting. That was failed
Pathfinder.
Pathfinder. So I have 1 passed and 1 failed on that.
Oh man, that's rough.
Yeah. So we like end up walking for much longer than we think we should be. I'm guessing.
You guys are wandering around the woods trying to figure out your way back. You're slowly snaking your way back to the keep. Everyone's getting a little frustrated.
Well,
Until I
apparently
think it's,
they must have moved the town back a further a bit.
I think it's Linus who probably is the one who sees it because they're the one checking behind them, right?
Yep.
You're being pursued. You're not sure by what, but not people. It's not Oog.
Oh no, not the not people.
It's
The unpeople.
it's something dark, something gaunt that loves the shadows.
Ooh.
So probably not that like 15-foot tall bear that we saw last night.
Yeah, exactly.
That's good.
It's no.
It gets bigger every time we tell the story.
Yeah.
It's as tall as the keep.
It had 2 heads by the end of the night.
Right.
The best part is this all still sounds like a monster we could find here. Like it doesn't get any more ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, this still sounds like a D&D monster.
Yeah.
Right. It moves with a near unnatural quickness. Like it's could gain on you if you're not careful.
Yeah. This does not seem good.
Well,
Could we try to like lay a trap with survivalist or some kind of
What is Linus
It's too too late for traps. It's with if you can see it, it's too close.
What is
Linus
about
say?
like stop and try to set a trap? It's just going to be on us, I would bet.
Exactly.
Yeah.
like
Unless the
an
trap is
apology.
we wait for it to come to the clearing and shoot it with a crossbow. I mean, like
I mean, that is one definition of a
It's a
trap.
very simple trap. Yes.
I mean, that's more of an ambush, I guess.
Not a lot of moving parts.
that's a better point. What does Linus say when you realize that there's something behind us? Like how do you alert us, or do you just let us?
I'm trying to think of what movie that's in, but like I think that he actually doesn't say anything for a while, and eventually he like taps whoever's in front of him on the head and is like, I'm pretty sure that light's been moving and getting closer each time. Yeah.
Nice.
I think the most distinguishing feature of your
Pursuer.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's like wait, you're the quarry. I don't know what you are. You're hunter.
We could make them the hunted. That would work for us.
They tread extraordinarily quietly. Like, you know, there's plenty of puddles and fallen leaves and stems, and it just silent each step. So like that's the weird thing is like you see these things coming in, but you can't hear them. You don't hear them. It's really jarring.
Can't hear them over the sound of the kill.
Right. And I think the rest of so you've alerted the group, right? Now Jaroslav looks real freaked out. I mean, like, no. Like he's like having like a real nervous reaction right now.
I'll slap him.
Come on, we're so close. No, come on. And,
how close are we? Like, is the keep close enough that we feel like we could just like beat feet and try to make it, or are we still out in the woods and don't really know how close we are to it?
You know
like,
what?
is just running our asses.
I'm gonna give you this. Is that I think like when you look back, I think you can see down the hill. There's probably a signpost that like is like the beginning of the like the place
Actual
is
road,
like 2 miles away, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like you have to run 2 miles,
right? With all our
bags,
spoils on our backs.
money.
Yeah. Do you want to sprint 2 miles with all that stuff on your back?
Yeah.
I mean, we might be able to make it, but I don't know about the merchant
It's a game.
and his wife.
I mean, we don't actually. That's a good point. We don't have to run the fastest, or sorry, we don't have to outrun the one hunting us. Man, I really spoiled that joke.
I'd rather
Linus tells jokes.
I'd rather get rid of the guards than the.
We're not.
All right. So here's what
splitting up this late.
We can try and drive it off. I mean, I think that we have to stand our ground here.
It loves the shadows. We have plenty of torches and light. Maybe we can scare the thing away.
It's daytime, right? Like, Are we in daylight?
No, you've been traveling all day, so it's like getting dark again.
Oh,
and that's
okay.
really when you start seeing them again.
Curse this sun.
Yeah.
Make up its mind. Either it's out or it's not. Sorry.
I mean, you've been traveling for hours with like nothing through the bogs and
clearly
stuff. Yeah.
Basil yelling at the sky.
So, are we in dim light right now? Without if we didn't have torches, or is it?
Well, I don't think we know what's.
Yeah,
I don't think we know what's behind us. I think we might just want to try to run away. We stop and try to take it on. We might really regret it. You know, 15 things jump out of the bushes made of bones and skin and shadow and try to eat our faces. Sounds unpleasant. So we run for it.
I don't have a body built for running.
Basil, you are a leader. Bryn says, which is also a truism of game session.
Oh yeah.
Do we stand and fight, or do we flee? Those are our choices. And
I'd
it
like
looks
to see
clear
what
like
this
Bryn
is.
is ready to like, you know, she's loading her crossbow. But
Yeah.
You go core and they're like, but our bubble baths.
I'm like tightening my shoelaces, getting ready to run. So you've got like one, and then you probably look over what's Linus.
Do we know a quantity? Like, is it one or several or a throng?
That's a good question.
Not that Linus knows so far.
All right.
Hey, Linus, what spell did you memorize last night?
Oh, we did make camp. Thank you for the reminder. Oh, that's
because you have a spell that I don't know
sets things on fire, or
I mean, I think based on us traveling back, not even knowing this particular situation, I almost certainly would have done celestial music. Because my other options would have been Wisdom of the Sages, which is we can comprehend the language, which I didn't think would come in handy.
Right.
And Word of Binding, which binds a door, chest, or gate, which like we're outside. So I obviously would have prepared celestial music. So that's what I did. So I can create any sound the caster can imagine from any direction. From there.
Yeah, and I think it lures creatures off. We could make the sound of us going a different way than we really are.
Yeah, and like it's dark enough that that would probably work.
All right. I'm gonna go with that plan then. Let's do it. let's hide, which Cadence is good at.
Yeah, everybody hide.
Then
there's a good spot there. There's a good spot over here. These spots aren't very good. Let's see. The two guards can take that one. I assign everyone in order of how important they are. Good hiding spots.
And when this fails, we're gonna drive them off.
Okay.
If
So, I think so. We're leading here. We're gonna lead this off with an attempt of you guys trying to hide while. What happens exactly?
I'm casting celestial music to have the sounds of like us carrying on in a different direction to lure them that way.
Okay.
Like we'll like pass into a stand of trees or something, and then duck into as many hiding places as we can. But the sound of us marching or whatever will still keep on going.
Oh, okay. Okay, you're trying to bait down. Okay.
And like, I mean, in theory, they might then come by us and we could ambush them if we really wanted to, depending on what we see. But I think the most important thing being like it keeps them moving, and then maybe we just don't.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, definitely. So here's my Can you help me? Can you help remind me how celestial music works and how a creature can be lured by it? It's you making this roll. It's not like a versus test, right? It's just it's an Arcanist check in order for this to work, right?
I have to make a roll. Like there's an ob I have to roll based on the duration and type of music that I want.
Right. And this is
meeting the obstacle allows me to create a maximum noise equivalent to that produced by 4 human-sized beings. So like technically, I probably need an extra ob to make it loud enough as all of us. Because each success over the obstacle allows the caster to double the volume, and we have more than 4 people. Creatures that hear the unearthly sounds are drawn to investigate. To resist the lure requires a will test or nature for monsters with an obstacle equal to the spells. The spell affects individuals. If targeting a large group, split the group in half or thirds and test to resist for a representative creature in each group. Creatures entranced by the sounds will seek their source and listen until the spell ends, or an infected creature speaks to them in a voice louder than a whisper. Or an unaffected creature, speaks to them in a voice louder than a whisper. So actually, so the spell is magic. I don't have to completely fool them with the exact sound. Like I can, because the reason that it is important is because human voices, at least, are very hard to mimic. But if I can make a different environmental noise that'll drive them off, that's a lower target for me.
Right, but it's also a lower ob for them to resist. The higher ob you make, the harder it is for them to not.
Yeah, so like we have to probably go somewhere in the middle here because we want something that I can hit, but something that they won't.
You can hit, but that they can't.
Yeah. Is Arcanist a thing you can assist with?
If you have Arcanist.
I do.
Ooh.
I can improve the spell with like doing like very subtle, not even like notes, but just the harmonics when you touch the string to like resonate the sounds more.
Sure. And Lore Master is also listed as help for Arcanist.
Yeah. I actually have even better.
Does Cadence have like ventriloquist like abilities with his thing where like make like notes that sound like they come far off, like travel off?
He I think you do.
I think I can just like play. I think I can just play like I'm not even playing notes by like holding down the string. I'm like doing little like pluck sounds that are so quiet, but they reverberate magic energy to like improve his spell. Like I can just like kind of open up the weave.
You're playing rhythm guitar to the spell. We get it.
Yeah.
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 So you've got one there.
Yeah. That's cool. I like that a lot, Virgil. That's really cool.
I've got one more use of thoughtful. I'm not sure if I can angle in thoughtful here. I think that thoughtful. I'm using my thoughtful trait in that. He thoughtful in the sense of like he's thinking through every detail. Like he's not just. This isn't just like some sounds that he made up. Like he's like creating a plot and a meaning behind it, not just like, hey, there's some sounds over there. I need to describe exactly what sounds I'm going for, but like he's totally thinking them out into like, there's a plot in his head of what all these sounds are. It's not just a like, look, some sounds. So environmental noises and drums is the easiest type of sound. And I think I would rather mess with the ob by going for more turns than going for a tougher type of sound. And so I think the environmental noises and drums. So he's being thoughtful in that he's making the sounds of another group of people hiding just even further up ahead. So it's like it sounds like a whole bunch of people setting an ambush, basically, but it's further up ahead. And like this is playing out as like an audio drama of like how thoughtfully he's planned out the exact details of like the sounds.
Hey, Linus, do you have a tuning fork by any chance?
Yes. Oh, I always forget to include. I carry around the materials for my spells all the time.
Yeah. They get used up, I think, when you use them. They're supplies.
Oh, okay.
Sure.
Anyway, this seems like a good time to use up that tuning fork.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know why a tuning fork would get used up, but my understanding of spell supplies is that they're just...
I mean, I can tune my loot with it so that I get the most accurate helping.
So I'm up to 7 dice. I need to decide exactly how long I'm going for here. I think I'm probably going for 3 turns because that'll give me a total ob of 3, which with 7 dice is a pretty reasonable number to aim for. And 3 turns of a fake ambush up ahead seems like a pretty reasonable approach here.
Yeah, I mean, we should be able to ditch them in less than that, hopefully. But yeah.
So my ob here is 3, so 1 for environmental noises, and then duration of 3. 1 turn of duration is free, so that's 3 turns. And actually, so each success over the obstacle allows the caster to double the volume of the noise. So I don't have to put that into the ob. And if it's
just
lower
graduated,
than people, like they probably didn't get an exact count on how many people were making noise. So like, I'm not too worried about that. Oh,
yep.
Come
on.
Oh,
man.
Yep, that's some Eric luck right there.
Oh, my gosh. Okay, well, there goes that spell.
Rip. Okay, so...
All right. Okay, let's drive him off.
Wait. Okay, so wait, I should look at things. I still have Martha here. Let's...
Can you use Bookwise?
It sucks only having 1 wise. How could I... this seems like a real stretch. Bookwise, he's... I got nothing. Anybody have any ideas?
I feel like anything we do would just be like, well, I know things because I've read books. It's
the whole thing is not your idea. You stole it from a book.
I don't think that that's everything. It's way too easy to
exactly because then it's like I'm fighting and I learned how to fight in a book, and I'm cooking and I learned a recipe.
Okay, hold on.
I owned a cookbook.
We
it really should
might
be
be
like
overthinking this.
something wise, yeah.
I think we're overthinking this because he's literally casting a spell that he's learned from a book. Right? Like, I mean, if there's anything that isn't a stretch, it's this kind of magic, right?
Maybe he would, if you think about it, like as of course, like maybe he like goes back and instead of just casting the spell from memory, like opens up your traveling spell book and be like, hold on, let me make sure I get this just right, and actually references the spell in the spell book itself.
So yeah, I want to angle for that here. I like this angle, and I think the reason that this isn't like a ridiculous always use it thing is that like the only reason that he can do this is that we have a little bit of time before they get here. Like if this was in the middle of combat or something, I could like, pulling it out and referencing it, but he's bookwise enough to like, with just enough time, flip through and like check the pronunciation on a word and maybe
keep yourself from making a mistake.
Okay, cool. I'm using my last persona. And that's reroll all failures, right?
Yeah, all failures.
So that's almost all them dice.
Yeah, so that's
5. Oh.
6 dice.
6 dice.
6.
66. 1, 2. I made the ob.
You got the op.
You got the
ob. Early, jeez, that's
all
a
right.
Oof. Ugh.
You got fate. You got a couple 6s there.
It doesn't really give it. I mean, it makes the sound bigger.
Okay.
Which no, actually, I guess like okay, I want to set this up to be as like and actually more. Oh no, they're still rolling against the ob, not what.
Yeah, they're still rolling against the ob you set. So
okay. So yeah, I don't think it's worth doing the fate because I don't think it makes that big a difference if it's as loud as 8 people or as 4 people. So
yeah.
Okay.
So, on the other hand, it's always good to spend the fate because I've seen before, like running out of fate sucks, and there is a minor benefit here. So I am actually going to open end this because I've got fate to use. So,
cool.
Not D5s. That would have been awkward. Okay.
Well.
Okay, so my turn. Now I have to resist it, right?
Yeah. So your ob is also 3, and it's nature. And if targeting a large group, split the group in half or thirds and test to resist for a representative creature in each group.
All right, 1 passes.
No.
Second one also passes.
No.
Come on. Okay.
So, I think we start seeing it work, and I think you guys see these things come like through where you guys are camping, and it's one of those. I think the camera stays on maybe like Linus or I think it's maybe stands on like Jaroslav, like hiding behind a tree, as this creature. Imagine this. So this I describe it as this gaunt, shadowy humanoid like creature, has very, very, very quiet steps. So like pretty much no description here. But now you finally could see it closer. It is this furred looking. It has a face like it's like related to a goblin, but not. It seems very, pretty distant. Like it doesn't have sharp teeth or weird nose. But it sort of has like same kind of like jawline of one, and it's covered in this like black, very like thin like wire-haired fur. It has sharp ears, like bat-like ears, or sorry, not sharp, so like round, like bat-like ears, and it's going on, and it has very, very, very long claws, and in each of the hands of this hunting duo, are like these large sort of like obviously stolen spears. They're Trollodarian spears, like they killed soldiers for him, and they're just sniffing around. And they talk to each other in Goblin, being like, "They're close. I can smell them." And they start going a little bit more and more down to like, "Oh, the sound." And then they smell again. It's like, And they look at each other and it's like, "Check down there. I think they might be there." And the other one's like, "No, they're too close." And then Jaroslav's like, and it kind of gives it away. And the way he's like, "Oh, they're around us." And look, and you guys are kind of discovered around, and they're kind of, and you see 2, I guess if you know them or not, they're bugbears.
Yeah.
In the middle of you guys.
I really feel like that moment was like something out of Predator or something like
Yeah.
that. Where we're all like hunched up and like trying not to make a noise and like hoping they'll go past us. And then Jaroslav like gasps and they turn and shit. They're, you know.
Yeah, they grab their pole arms and
then we'll
driving them off.
Wrap it up, right? We're gonna wrap it up for the night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
no, this is where we should wrap for the night and start with the Bugbears tomorrow.
Yep.
Because it is
Tomorrow.
late. Or next week.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yes,
Tomorrow.
we're hardcoring this.
With the sun. What is it doing? Yeah.
Make up its mind.
Right. So yeah, that was a pretty late episode. Well, good stuff though.
Yeah.
I really love this game. I really enjoy jamming this game. Okay, let's talk about experience, right?
Yeah.
Let's do
Beliefs,
it.
instincts, and goals. So if you accomplish your belief, you get fate. Like if it came into play and you worked in accordance to it, you earn fate points. If you had your belief fundamentally challenged to the point where you no longer believe it in play, you earn persona. So perhaps we should just go around and say what we have for our fates. So I'll start with you, Basil.
All right.
Beliefs. Fates.
Belief, yeah. My belief is the words of true and worthy gods can be found in these caves, which is a belief I took in this session when we left the caves. So I don't think I got anything on this one yet.
All right. I'm inclined to agree. Sage?
Pretty much the same. My belief is I can find allies within the creatures of the caves. Some of the creatures here are like me. And I totally actually kind of shrugged that one off in the little bit that I could have leaned on it in the favor of like talking about tiaras giving you magical herpes and trying to get home. So no, nothing there for me.
Mine was sometimes the traditions of old yield true, but I won't let centuries of hate rule my actions. And that was to sort of show Bryn's sort of politics shifting slightly, and that really didn't come up either.
Yeah.
I don't feel like that was.
Yeah, this was a little bit more just survival today.
Yep.
Mine is I'm a true adventurer. Elves are made of sterner stuff, which I think I played on when instead of making a check to clear my exhaustion, I went out to go scout.
I think so too.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so fate for that one.
Yeah, and got us into this mess instead of doing a town phase cadence.
But I got my fate.
That's the right answer, Virgil.
Yeah.
It's like when you get a terrible at rolling a Blades in the Dark engagement. I'm like, but that means a desperate action.
Awesome.
Cool.
Let's do instincts. If you benefited from your instinct today in the game, earn fate. Basil?
So my instinct was to provide the comforts of home.
Yeah, it totally helped.
You did.
Yeah,
It doesn't have to be
behind the
successful.
candles.
It's
Okay,
acting, yeah.
got it.
But it did though. I mean, you got supplies for the cartography roll.
Yeah. Good job. Sage?
Yeah, and I basically, my instinct was to always volunteer, which allowed me to help in those same roles. So
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Bryn?
When I see shoddy craftsmanship, I will improve it. We didn't. I mean, I considered that we might run into some of the kobold craftsmanship, but it was not. It didn't. There was no sort of avenue for that, so it didn't come up.
You didn't fix their broken traps.
No.
And obviously Virgil?
Let's see. I need to jump in if nobody is taking charge. Kind of did a couple times, I think, like during the camp, and
Yeah.
I kind of led the escape. So that's fate again, right?
Led what?
Didn't I lead a couple like scouting roles?
You use, so I want to be cautious here because you've already used that scenario to earn yourself belief fate as well.
Well, instinct is real cut and dry. It's did it grant you an action? Did it grant you an action that you were able to roll? It's one of the most.
Is it? I mean, are we cool with using the same example in game to get multiple points of experience in one go? Because you did. You stepped up and took charge to do the scouting, right?
But
you also
but I
earned
think I also did on the
that for your
way
belief.
out of the caves. I don't know.
Oh, you mean literally the Pathfinder test?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, you're totally. I'm sorry. Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Great. So
Right, and then goals.
2.
Right, working towards your goal earns you fate. Accomplishing your goal is a persona. Basil.
See at least one of these guards safely out of the dungeon. They're out of my hands now. I'm gonna say I did this.
you can finally swipe that and highlight that and press the
Persona.
delete button.
Yeah, wonderful.
Excellent.
I recovered my spells finally,
Nice.
and then immediately cast them again. So I'm back to or magicless magic user. But hey, that was my goal. I briefly had magic again.
Yay.
I think I found a way to the caves of the Bloody Fists. We went down there and scouted it out. So take
Definitely.
that persona.
And my goal was to get the loot back to town, and I did make some progress.
Yeah, definitely did. So fate points for you.
Yeah.
Cool. And then the last thing to do is our group rewards. MVP award.
Oh, yeah.
These are all persona. All group awards are persona worthy. Was there an MVP this session? Looking back at the rolls.
Huh.
I mean there were some big challenges that we failed.
Yeah.
The MVP tends to mean like success, not
Right.
I had some big important roles, but they all failed.
Yeah, I think like getting the tiara was like a pretty big success.
Yeah.
It was a big success, but it didn't like advance. It got us more loot, which is great, but it didn't like advance us over a major hurdle. That was sort of something we took on ourselves, but it may be the biggest hurdle that we had, honestly, that we succeeded at.
It looks like the only other successful role was finding the camp and setting up camp. But those roles,
Yeah.
But I don't think those are.
Which to me really kind of smacks more of work hours, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually think we don't have an MVP.
I think so. Yeah. By the way, I think I said it last time that tiara, based on your appraisal, is like 6 dice worth of treasure. Did I say that?
Wait,
It's like
I think
super
we
good.
have an MVP.
Yeah. So like, I don't know.
I'm gonna put that on my sheet. Where is that?
Yeah, definitely. That's good. I'm glad, because I think we traded 5 dice worth of treasure for it.
Yeah.
Plates were 40 plus the.
Oh.
So I'm
1D
glad.
extra.
Hey.
Right.
1D extra, and also a lot less pack space. I mean.
And I can put it on my head if I need to.
Yeah.
Yeah. See,
Just
thinking
don't.
ahead.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Cool. So what about team workhorse?
To me, it's a toss up between Basil and Cadence. Cadence got us, did a bunch of scouting and looking around, and took charge a bunch of times. And Basil was like the one who found us a spot and made it nice.
I want to nominate our second Basil here, only
Yeah.
because his roles were successful.
Yeah, I was gonna say Basil as well. Is who I was
Alright.
feeling.
What do I get for that?
Persona.
Oh.
And then this is a tough one today. Embodiment. This is
Man, we were killing it
I
today.
know he killed it.
Good job, everyone. Feel really good about our role play.
I mean,
So
Cadence.
who's the worst?
We got a lot of stuff done where we were like, we did a whole scene, and then we were like, all right, let's work back because this is what your help is, and this is what your help is. I feel like felt
yeah.
really nice.
Where it was very organic what we were doing, rather than like, okay, how do I dice monger it? I mean, we were dice mongering for sure.
Definitely Cadence. I want to nominate, but I think also, I don't know. It's really close because, like, I mean, Linus's should definitely be considered as well.
Yeah.
I'm really glad I took my
Sure.
my belief or my instinct of jump in if no one's taking charge, because I think it's really shaped my character a lot more.
Yeah.
And so embodiment can go to
Go to all
more people
but
except
one.
everybody.
Yeah, as many people as we want, but one.
Right.
I would also nominate Cadence and Linus. I think Linus's notes of
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
map making and and the weird details. I loved when the three of us like tag teamed up with like weird details about the tiara. Oh, it can make you gifted. Oh, here's
Right.
medical stuff. Oh, the goblins keep their precious bits in poop. That was that whole like scam we pulled on them was great.
Yeah, I agree. Linus is really good tonight.
Pulling in Bran as well, because like you're right, that tag team, and I feel like if we're saying that Caden and Linus,
let's go with that. I'm happy to sit this one out. I think you guys did quite well.
Right.
Okay.
Chat's calls for you though, Basil. But, okay.
Oh, really?
Really?
Oh,
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, John, give us your argument.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Let's
I think. Let's move. I think everybody then, but Basil.
Yeah, I feel like an additional justification for Linus and Bryn is that we had that moment where we were talking about the caves and about bug roll and about like our concern about going to it and deciding like we're not going to jeopardize everything, but clearly we were thinking about it.
Yeah,
that was an important element.
Right.
Yep.
Cool. All right then, good stuff. That's it then. Yeah. That's it. We've conclude episode 6 of the Keep on the Borderlands.
Nice. Pretty much on time.
Yeah, wow.
Ooh.
With a cliffhanger and everything.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, right, let's, next time's going to be real interesting. Hopefully I roll better. Like, I'm not going to like play the dice, but I mean, come on.
Yep. So close.
Cool. All right, let's do some outros, everybody. Epi.
Yeah. The outro. Oh, that's where I could be found, right?
Yeah, an announcement and stuff.
So you can. I'm the only Epidiah in the whole entire world that I know of. You can find me on Twitter with that. You can find me on dice.camp with that. You can find me on Google+. You can even find me on Facebook, but I mean, I wouldn't. Yeah. And you can also go to worldswithoutmaster.com to pick up my Sword and Sorcery fiction and gaming magazine, or you could go to dig1000holes.com to see all my other gaming stuff. How about you, Sage?
My name is slightly less unique. I think we've done that handoff several times now.
Yeah, I think so.
So you can find me on Twitter at old_Fortran, old with an E. Just look for my name. You'll probably find me. And Dice Cam, Google+, Facebook, all those places. I don't actually post all that often. And I have a personal website, because I always forget to mention that part, at siverfenebel.in.
I know exactly the joke.
Trying to find a new domain name. The monsters from the D20 SRD and all the top level domain names that I could register, and looked for any top level domain names that were the end of a monster, and that's what I ended up with.
Nice.
And it is.
That's a deep joke.
To tell people about, like, unless you already know the monster, trying to explain the URL is just kind of.
That is a really deep.
I don't update that often, but it's got a few interesting like Dungeon World posts and stuff. I don't know. Go check it out.
Your critique of 5th edition is really good.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's
recommend
a critique /
just review. Yeah,
like there's. I have complex feelings about 5th edition. I have complex feelings about a lot of role playing game stuff, and that's where I put it. Those complex feelings. How about you, Sean? Do you have complex feelings about anything?
No, my feelings are pretty simple right now. I'm sleepies. But if you want to find me when I'm not sleeping, I'm Sean Nittner everywhere. Also, I think I don't think I said all the time is that if you go to Evil Hat's website and click on project status, you can see all the projects that I'm either managing or co-managing with Sophie Lagasse, and so all the new stuff that we're doing. And as I said at the intro, just came out with Greedy Dragons, which will be releasing next month. And also next month, we're going to have another project release that I'm super excited about. So that's good times. And if Eric isn't doing something super rad on this channel, you could swing on by twitch.tv/actualplay, and we're running a bunch of really cool games coming up soon too. So that's very exciting. And Virgil, you're doing exciting stuff with music and streaming and all stuff too, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, if you're short players, I'd love to get on some actual play sometime, because I do love playing this game with all you guys.
Sweet.
You guys are some amazing role players. I just want to let you guys know that. Role playing that I do can be found if you go to twitch.tv/Zircon5, and I host whenever I'm playing with fine fellows such as these. And if you want to hear some of my jams, if you want to kick them hard, you can check out my SoundCloud, which is Zircon5 as well. And I do have a bunch of stuff on there that's downloadable and free, and some of it as well is Creative Commons, so you can use it in projects. If you're like, I'm doing this cool project, I just want some background tunes, there's a lot of genres up there. Go check out my site. I mean, Eric, don't you have like podcasts on a SoundCloud somewhere?
Not anymore, but yeah, I'm Eric. I'm EricVulgaris on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. You can find me here as well. I do have a website as well that I update. I typically update it whenever I do actual plays of games in real life at EricVulgaris.com, which is getting rarer and rarer these days as I do more. A couple of announcements. I think next week I'm playing in Band of Blades, which is debuting, which is going to be super fun. That was my Belle of the Ball of Go play. So was playing Dominica the Heavy in that game. But everything that Strash and John have done for that game since then. Okay, so I'm just gonna nerd out real quick. Okay,
nerd on.
So there's a meta game to the game, right? So imagine it's like, if you don't know already, this is like the Black Company. So it's kind of, imagine sort of Dark Fantasy XCOM, if you can't think of anything else, right? So like kind of like Torchbearer, but like much more like military, rather than Dark Fantasy like this, right? So one of the meta game component to that is that every player gets a different role. Like if you're a marshal, you're the one who's choosing which missions to go on for your group, or if you're the commander, that's what you're doing. If you're the marshal, you're the one picking like which roster, and you're playing this roster game of like, okay, should we send our recruits to this mission? How should we divvy up these people and do these things anyways? And one of them is also just like the lore master and like kind of like the analyst from the Black Company. So you can just like make up lore about the past battles of this amazing legion that you're part of, because it's been kind of destroyed, and it's like its back has been broken and defeated by the Cinder King as you're marching back to the mountains to defend yourself. And I'm just like, oh man, that's a role. Oh, that's so cool. You can it's just such a good nod to it, to the genre, and I love it so much. I don't know what I'm gonna be yet or anything like that. Just expect a lot of death in the game. And it's gonna be so much fun. That's this Sunday over at twitch.tv/KelseyDelphi. So that's gonna be fun, and Strauss is the GM for it, so it's gonna be real good.
Yeah, that is gonna be super
I'm so
rad.
excited. I am so excited for it. Anyways, that's it for us today. This is episode 6. Take care, everybody. Good night.
Bye. Good night.